behind me are, I think most people would say, our two greatest presidents, and they would have a debate over which one was greater, and I go back and forth. George Washington and Abraham Lincoln, despite the attacks on them by the Marxist assholes that make up our universities in America, these men were the kind of leaders that you actually wonder if anybody else could have done what they did. When I reflect on George Washington handling the Continental Army, which wasn't an army at all. It was just a conglomeration of patriotic farmers and tradesmen and merchants and professional people and who knows what. And then at some point, either freed slaves or blacks from the free states. This was not like the kind of trained army that had been engaging in war for 300 years that the British Empire set against us, or their unbelievable navy, which created a blockade for us. And there were times in which this war was lost. Any other man would have sued for peace and come up with some way of getting out of it when he was freezing to death in Valley Forge twice, 2 winters, when they couldn't win a victory or a battle. He has to, for that alone, just based on the lack of resources and the miracles that he pulled off, be the greatest general in our history. And then could he be the greatest president? Yeah. He had the hardest job. He had to be the first one. And he didn't just do it, kind of get through it. He did it and set a standard that is very, very hard for anybody else to equal. Put together a brilliant cabinet, handled it brilliantly, got the best out of Hamilton and Jefferson and so many others, and left behind a dignity and a morality and that really is still guiding us. Then the other one, Abraham Lincoln. My goodness, the man never had anything like inner peace in the White House. And from the moment he was elected, we were in the worst war in our history. We lost more people in the Civil War than in any other war we fought in, and we lost them on both sides, right? And here he has a divided country. Not sure he can bring it back together. Every attempt, particularly in the first 2 to 3 years. You had to despair at some point when every general you put in charge of an army was completely and absolutely destroyed until he got Grant, and then they came to him and they complained about Grant because Grant was a drinker, and he said, "Get me more drinkers." Or maybe they said Grant was a drunk. He said, "Get me more drunks." You'd want to meet Lincoln, wouldn't you? What a great sense of humor he had when we read about him, and we just love to sit down and talk to Lincoln. And as I pointed out when we were really dealing with Lincoln's birthday last week, he was a great lawyer, a great trial lawyer. Well, separate holidays for both. That's my suggestion. So Iran's top diplomat met today in Geneva. So you know when I say in Geneva, it's like saying at the UN. They're not going to accomplish it. We know they're not going to accomplish it.
Right.
He met with the head of the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, which really was disturbingly pro-Iran, and I never trusted anything they ever did.
Right.
But even now, they're saying they haven't been allowed to go into Iran. They don't know what's going on there. They're pretty sure that they're trying to enrich and make up for the tremendous damage that was done to them. But Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi met with Rafael Grossi, who is the Director General of the IAEA, and he said that they're willing to agree to something reasonable, yet they haven't allowed inspections, and who knows how long, right? And he said, but we will not submit before threats, which means that they refuse to, they have already said they will not agree to be completely non-nuclear. They won't develop nuclear weapons, but they'll remain nuclear. That's where we started. That's where we were. I don't know if they get it or not, but we don't trust them. We don't trust them to have nuclear material at all, because they, having gotten it up to acknowledge 69% when they threw out the IAEA, you have to say to yourself, and I think everybody does, that they were way beyond nuclear enriched by the time we bombed them. But even if they weren't, they were a couple of days away. What does it matter? So they can't be trusted with it. Like you say, well, you can't have a gun, but they can have all the implements from which you can put a gun together in 3 minutes. You can't allow madmen to have this weapon, and they're madmen if they are not taking Trump's warning seriously, if they're still challenging him, if they're going ahead and doing live exercises, right near us in the Persian Gulf or the Indian Ocean or wherever, Arabian Sea. This is like taunting the powers that already destroyed you. Doesn't that show you're crazy? Well, that's the whole point. Crazy people shouldn't have nuclear weapons. Otherwise, we may not have a world. It was in Serbia, Sarajevo, Serbia, a little tiny place that sparked the first big world war. This is not just a little place. I mean, this use of nuclear weapons could spark a world war, which would mean, if not the end of the world, millions and millions of lives lost. So I don't know what the point of the negotiations are, other than just set them up for an attack. So on Monday, they launched their second naval drill in 3 weeks. And they're going to test their intelligence and operational capabilities in the Strait of Hormuz, which would block international oil shipments all over the world, the Persian Gulf, and the Gulf of Oman, where we virtually have, if it isn't the largest armada in the history of the world, I doubt it. It has to be. And I think if they threaten any one of those ships, they're gonna blow them out of the water. It's almost as if they want to. It's almost as if they want to push him far enough that he just has to attack them.
Right, Mayor. Now, if you were to put yourself in their heads, and let's say they're rational actors in this case, which might be hard to do here, what would be an explanation for why they're conducting these test operations in the Strait of Hormuz, literally the day before these talks are set to
it can't be to prepare. Restart. If they're not prepared, they're not prepared. And doing these exercises, these 3 exercises, is not going to get them any better prepared.
But will it show where they're at? So then it'll determine what steps they can take.
I don't think anything they do is going to impress us. I mean, we know their capabilities. We know
maybe their own leadership's like, what can we do? Because if we start threatening, we got to know what we're capable of.
I think you're trying to make them too rational. First of all, they shouldn't bother to do this. All it'll do is convince us that we can take them out in about 30 minutes.
Right.
I mean, the 2 aircraft carriers we have there are one too many to destroy most of or all of Iran. Those are unbelievable. It isn't just an aircraft carrier. An aircraft carrier group, they're about 22 ships.
Right.
And we probably have 50 ships now in the Indian Ocean, the Persian Gulf, and the Mediterranean surrounding Iran.
Right.
They're all nuclear. They're all nuclear powered, nuclear armed, and they have ballistic missiles.
Right.
So putting their ships in the ocean, if we wanted to, you could just take them all out in a day. And I don't think they have the capacity to defend against us. I mean, if they did, they would have done it last time.
Right. So what you're seeing on the screen here, those are some of our, I guess we'll call it equipment in the Mideast right now. Those are what are called EA-18G Growlers from the Electronic Attack Squadron, as well as F-35 aircraft from the Marine Fighter Squadron. And these ships are they're conducting operations as we speak throughout that region. And as the mayor said, we have significantly increased our presence there. And that's not just for any sort of immediate response to Iran. It's maybe more so to protect our
I mean,
interests
if we attack them and take out their the attack would probably be focused on the IRGC and destroying their ammunition, destroying their installations, and destroying as many of them as possible. Because the president sort of gave that away a little bit when he said that the best thing here would be regime change. I believe that's the first time President Trump has ever said that. Even though people around him, including me, have argued for it for 10 years. I thought the guy should have been taken out. His predecessor should have been taken out when he held American hostages or killed American Marines. It's way past time to take him out. So I don't see how this doesn't end in our taking out the IRGC, a good deal of their offensive capability, and the whole purpose of this attack is not so much to inhibit them their nuclear capacity. We did that already. Maybe we just want to do a little follow up on that. But this is to really degrade their ability to protect their regime of terror. They do that with the IRGC. I'm sure between us and the Mossad and the MEK, and we have a pretty good idea of where they're located. So those are the places that are going to get bombed. And I think, like you saw with the scientists, where extraordinary, they would go to an apartment complex and they'd hit one apartment building, and they hit one apartment in that apartment building.
Right.
Which means they knew exactly where the nuclear scientist was living. Don't you think they have the same information about the leadership of the IRGC? Of course they do.
Right.
I think you're going to see a lot of those apartment buildings with blown out, a big building and a blown out window. And then you can say to yourself, that's another head of the IRGC that they took out, and another one, and another one, and another one. Because what can you accomplish? You can leave them leaderless all over the country. You can degrade the number of forces that they have.
Right.
And what you hope to is break their morale, so they will fold in what appears to be the continuing pressure, which is going on right now. The continuing pressure, even though the protests are not quite what they were before, these constant protests in 190 cities.
Right.
There's a big protest on Sunday in Tehran.
That's right. And whenever it's the New York Times and the Western media, sometimes you wonder what their motives are with some of these stories. But even the New York Times is reporting just the level of rage. They're using words like grief and anxiety among the Iranian people. I mean, we're hearing of students crying over their slain classmates who have been murdered in the middle of the night by this regime.
Over their what?
Crying.
Over what?
Their classmates who have been murdered by the Iranian regime throughout these protests the last couple of months. They'll just have friends not show up for final exams, and they'll find out that they were murdered overnight by the Iranian regime. Parents are scared for their kids.
And what's the Times answer to this? Give them more cash in envelopes like Obama did?
Well, unfortunately, they're probably, like a lot of folks in the West, have this misguided notion that the son of the Shah, the baby Shah, as we refer to him here, is the solution.
I doubt the Times would think that. They sure didn't. I mean, they didn't like the Shah when he was in office.
But that's a good point.
I mean, they didn't.
I've read it. Yeah,
they saw him as corrupt, and well, he was corrupt, and
well, of course, right?
I mean, we supported him because we thought that there was a fear that the country could go communist, and he could prevent it from being communist. But he was killing people left and right, and he was stealing. He was stealing so that his son hasn't had to work a day in his life, and he walks around like a prince. Prince of what? Prince of a country that his father was thrown out of because his father was an international criminal.
That's right.
And his mother was stealing along with his father.
So Mayor,
I mean, even if you say, well, gee, he's not like that. They did claim to govern based on a line of succession, and the line of succession is to a tyrant. And his grandfather was just as bad as his father, and both of them were put in the same way he wants to get put in. They were put in by the establishment in Great Britain and in the United States, not by the people of Iran. Way back in, what was it, in 19... Well, the first Shah, the first Shah really was put in about 1916, but he really didn't become a monarch until about 1924 or 25. That's when he was crowned as the, whatever the hell he was, the emperor,
right,
the representative of God,
right.
His old man,
right,
and his old man was not a monarch of any kind. He was a regular soldier in the Cossacks, and he was distinguished as being their best and most effective killer.
Right.
So this is not. I mean,
that's right, Mayor.
The only reason he has a claim on this is because of the outrageous behavior of his family. That's why anybody knows him.
Well, and that's right. And the idea,
and he's done nothing. I mean, it was disgusting to see him on Maria Bartiromo yesterday. And she doesn't ask him a question like, Mr. Prince, did you ever have a job?
Yeah.
I flew airplanes for a year. When was that? When I was 20.
1970 something.
Yeah. What about anything else? Where'd your money come from? I don't know. Well, is it possible that it came that it's money that was stolen from the people in Iran who are starving? Is that possible? And did you offer to go fight for the regime of terror? And they turned you down. I mean, they don't even want you because you probably are a near-to-well jackass.
And if we take all of that and put that to the side, Mayor, right? We put all that to the side. One of these folks that interviewed this gentleman needs to ask him, what's the word I'm looking for? What is your selling point? Why the people of Iran today, they're just going to accept you? A man who's been in America for the past 40 years?
He just recently became a supporter of regime change. I mean, I've been a supporter of regime change for a decade. I should be head of Iran.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous. They've attempted to kill me twice. He's never taken a chance to get a little bit of his nose put in jeopardy.
That's right. All I know about this guy is that he's in the United States, going from party to party, from Miami to LA.
But the establishment loves him. I mean, and this is exactly what you don't need. I mean, this is the reason you have revolutions in Iran, because the people feel that the establishment, American and British, forced the Pahlavi family on them, and the Pahlavi family sold out to them. Well, they've done it again, and there they are on Fox being, I don't know what the hell is going on,
right? But
and they don't ask him any questions. It's like
basic question.
It's like what the left wing does with the Democrats. They don't ask the guy any questions.
Right.
Like, what have you done for a living? When did you first support regime change? 2 days ago.
Yep. Well, but the good news is,
have you ever gone to Iran to rally your people? No, I'm afraid.
Right.
I'm afraid. I haven't been in Iran. I know more about Iran than he does.
Right. The good news is, though, our friend, and those of you that watch our show know Ali Reza Jafarzadeh very well. He's on here quite often. I've met him through the mayor, a true freedom fighter, and he's part of an organization that is standing for freedom. And
they've tried to kill him 4 times.
Well, they put countless.
The difference between the princeling and him is they tried to kill Ali Reza 4 times. He's been doing it for 25, 30 years. His life has been in jeopardy for that long. He's been able to get thousands and thousands of Iranians out as refugees, risking his life to do it. And there are thousands of those people that have been doing that with this guy not having anything to do with it. And the last thing in the world they want is another king. I mean, this is ridiculous. You're going to risk your life. You're going to lose. There are 50,000 people at least right now in jail since the protests began. The estimates of dead are minimum 15,000, maximum 40. Now, if it's anywhere in any of that number category, the number of people killed in that short period of time is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I mean, this is Hitler numbers, Stalin numbers, unbelievable numbers. I mean, the prison that they're holding them in was a prison built by the Pahlavi family. It used to be the Pahlavi family prison. And there are people who remember quite vividly, and if not, they've told their children about the Savak. They used to come and kill people if you opposed the Shah. And he sometimes claims, we don't know what he's for. He used to be for a monarchy. In fact, he got himself crowned somewhere, on some ship. Yeah. Some rich guy's ship. They crowned him. I don't know what they crowned him, but they crowned him something. So he's a crowned something. Yeah. Then he recently he started saying he's for a constitutional monarchy, but both his grandfather and his father used to say that too, and they ran a homicidal dictatorship. And again, all of this is being done on crooked money. All of this is being done on money that was stolen from the Iranian people because this guy doesn't have a business. He doesn't work. So you're going to expect these people, after they lost, like the MEKs lost 120,000 people. Right. And people are dying left and right. You're going to expect them to accept this guy? I mean, they originally started dying to get rid of him.
Yes, the Iranian people, take out the American factor, take out America. In 1979, they overthrew this guy's family. And so there are people out there that want to return to the very family that was ran out of Iran by basically every group. And on top of that, Mayor, as the mayor's mentioned numerous times tonight, MEK has proven and demonstrated time and time again throughout the years since 1979 that they do stand with the people of Iran. They're the ones that alerted the United States of the nuclear.
About this high over the last 40 years, in which they discuss in great detail what kind of government Iran should have, how it should be structured. They debate the various possibilities of different ways to do it. Reminds you very much of what George Washington presided over. They have a 10-point plan outlining a constitution. They have a schedule for elections. They've thought through all of that. They have people ready to run everything in Iran so that the railroads keep going, the buses keep running, the schools can stay open. He hasn't done any of that. He hasn't done any of that. Plus, last week it was revealed that he's working with the regime and making it appear as if he has support inside Iran, because everyone who really knows this realizes he has a very thin layer of support in Tehran, nowhere else. And then they claim, oh, he's got a massive amount of support. And they try to show a lot online. Well, a lot of that stuff online has been generated by the regime. And why does the regime do that? It's really smart. They discourage people. Right. So the people 100 miles away or 1,000 miles away who are hearing about this, and they say, I'm going to go up against the IRGC. They're going to blow up my house, kill me, or put me in jail forever, or kill my kid to get a king back. And notice, during the interview with Maria, he was very comfortable having her call him Prince. Yeah. Well, he's not a singer, so that's the kind of prince that he is. Now, if this guy were truly had the spirit of democracy or Republican form of government, he said, please don't call me that. But he wasn't sensitive enough to even do that because that's the only thing he knows. I mean, you go to all the jet set parties and you drink all that stuff and smoke all that stuff. That's what you start thinking. Well, we're going to take a short break and hopefully get on a subject that's more uplifting.
Well, we're going to take a short break, but we're going to stay on this topic. We have one more segment with this because we have an incredible guest.
Oh, good.
I believe he was over in Berlin.
Oh, yes. Hamid. Okay,
yeah,
good.
So,
good.
But let's take a quick break and we'll talk with Hamid on the other side. After all, we are capitalists and we got to pay the bills.
Oh, we're not Here we are, pretty much at the beginning of the process here at this pristine, I call it a laboratory. It's not like a factory, it's like a hospital. This is the beginning of the process for roasting. Deep grain, very good quality. Most people don't use this quality. We deal with small farmers because they like to know who we're dealing with. They give us the highest quality, all organic, non-GMO. You should know all Arabica beans. No Robusto, all Arabica. They're going to go into the roaster and it'll get roasted for about 20 minutes or so. Oh my goodness, look at these. My goodness. You're going to want to specially order these. This is what goes into Rudy's coffee.
Are you ready for some action?
I'm ready for action.
Get the Elite TV plan only through the portal. 218 channels, and it's only $69.95 a month,
Wow.
including your free portal.
That's cheaper than everyone else.
Your favorite sports, movies, news,
Wow.
even daytime dramas. We're talking about ESPN, OAN, Newsmax,
Wow.
channels you can't get anymore in certain areas.
Compared to the competition, this is a way better deal.
Endless selection. Not to mention all the free music channels. There's over 700 premium and classic movies all ready to go.
Wow.
Plus, they got catch-up TV that allows you to go back and watch what you've missed or want to watch again. Cut your cable in half and get twice as much for free.
Way more channels for half the cost.
After the first year, the subscription then drops to $57.95 monthly,
Wow.
where you change or upgrade anytime. Go to QUXNow.com and get yours today. Use promo code RUDY. Act fast. These deals are selling out.
U.S. Army Major Scott Smiley paid a high price serving our nation. Scott was leading his platoon in Iraq when a blast sent shrapnel through his eyes, leaving him blind and temporarily paralyzed. Scott would become the first blind active duty military officer before medically retiring years later. Thanks to friends like you, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation gave Scott and his family a mortgage-free, specially adapted smart home. Show your support for America's heroes now. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. Here we are, pretty much at the beginning of the process here at this pristine, I call it a laboratory. It's not like a factory, it's like a hospital. This is the beginning of the process for roasting. Deep grain, very good quality. Most people don't use this quality. We deal with small farmers because they like to know who we're dealing with. They give us the highest quality, all organic, non-GMO. You should know all Arabica beans. No Robusto, all Arabica. They're going to go into the roaster and it'll get roasted for about 20 minutes or so. Oh my goodness, look at these. My goodness. You're going to want to specially order these. This is what goes into Rudy's coffee. Welcome back to America's Mayor Live, accompanied by George Washington and Abraham Lincoln, and we are honored to have again. He's been on here at least once before and did an absolutely splendid job. Hamid Azimi, who is an IT specialist with Oracle and a human rights activist for a free Iran and a democratic Iran, small d, right? And I want him to describe to us what's going on. Hamid, were you in Berlin?
Hi, Mayor. Very glad to be on your show.
Oh, nice to see you. How are you? How have you been?
I'm doing okay, and I've been fine, and glad to see you again, sir.
Now,
And
were you in Berlin for the rally a week and a half ago?
yes, I made the trip to Berlin, and as you know, the Berlin airport was closed, so ended up in Munich, and rushed to the train station and took the train to Berlin, and took part in the event that had tens of thousands of people from across Europe and a few hundred of us from United States getting together with a clear message in support of Mrs. Rajavi and her 10-point plan, the Jeffersonian 10-point plan, as General James Jones has mentioned about it a few times. And we were glad to be there, to be the voice of the people of Iran, who, as you very clearly described, do not want a king. They want a future that is democratic, a republic that's democratic, with a separation of church and state.
You don't want a king? Everybody nowadays is in favor of a king.
That's
Want to go back to the 18th century, 17th century?
Yeah,
what the heck? Everybody wants to have a dictator king as opposed to a dictator priest.
The French kept their king, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
why
well, they
shouldn't
kept them in a
we?
tomb.
Yeah, exactly. That's where they belong.
I mean, it's so ridiculous. I can't believe it. And here we have him sometimes on American television. Here's a country that fought a war, 250 years ago to get rid of a king. And on Fox yesterday, they have Princey on, and they're talking to him like this is serious. We'll get the king. Yeah, we'll all die and we'll get a king back.
You're absolutely right, Mayor. And you know what? What bothers me more than anything is that when they bring him on TV, and especially when they call him a prince, that is an insult to about 40, 30 some odd million people, Iranian, my family included, in 1979, when we revolted. The entire nation revolted with the slogan of death to the king, Marg bar Shah. And we got rid of kingdom in Iran once and for all. And when they bring someone like Reza Pahlavi and call him the prince, that's an insult to an entire nation. That's an insult to a nation that shed a lot of blood, sacrificed a lot of lives to get rid of the Ayatollahs and yes, to get rid of the Shah. And as you mentioned, just the fact that, the Ayatollahs are 10 times worse than the Shah doesn't mean that the Shah is exonerated and he can, we can go on with kingdom. Nobody wants kingdom anymore, especially the people of Iran who had got rid of the king once and for all.
Yeah, I mean, at the time that the Shah was killing people and using the even prison, EVIN, right?
Evin, yeah.
Yeah. Now, who built that? Shah 1 or Shah 2?
Shah 2 built it.
Shah 2, okay.
Yeah.
So that was used by them to imprison their political prisoners.
Absolutely. And,
It's a great facility they contributed to the Reign of Terror because now they're using it for their people.
Yeah,
I mean, I've met Iranians both through MEK and independently that their families were tortured by both. They have people they lost to the Shah and people they lost to the Ayatollah.
absolutely. We still have, people, friends in Paris, MEK members, who have the signs of torture from the Evin times during Savak. They bear the mark of torture that they had. There is a fine lady we affectionately call her Aziz, who is a 97-year-old mother of a number of MEK martyrs. And she still bears in the bottom of her foot, in the the marks of the uh, slaps that she is the slaps that she had received at the bottom, the torture at the bottom of her feet, there is still sign after 50 years. So we are talking about a nation that has not lost even the physical signs of the torture that the Savak and the Shah has imposed on us. There is not a single family in Iran that was not affected by the brutality of Savak and Shah's apparatus in Iran. He was a dictator that announced publicly, and I have a copy of the newspaper from back then, that all of the parties, and there were 3 parties that were loyal to him, he abandoned those parties and said the Iran is going to be a single party system. He called it
That's right.
Rastafari.
Yeah, and he killed people and tortured people
Absolutely.
in order to enforce the one party system. Now,
He-
let me ask you this, because look, I don't. Sometimes I'm a person with a remarkable amount of energy. Anybody that knows me will tell you that.
Absolutely.
And I was the only
Yes.
person. I was the only person in 16 when the president was campaigning that could stay up with him. And at the end of the night, we would very often walk around the plane making fun of the kids who were sleeping.
Uh-oh.
However, I have to tell you, he's beyond human with the amount of energy, that he had. But I don't envy him this decision, because I've heard very patriotic Iranians. Some of them say he should do a strategic attack to degrade the IRGC, et cetera, and help the regime change. And some say that it would backfire. Now, I'm not talking about people. I'm talking about legitimate people who both want to see a change. I mean, I think I know what my answer is, and have spent time personally involved in this, and I feel I can have an opinion since they tried to kill me twice. So I'm entitled to an opinion.
Of
But
course,
what do you
of course
think?
you are.
What do you think? I want to
Yeah.
know what you think. What should America do at this juncture that we're at right now?
I'll get to that, Mayor, in a second. I just have to tell you that in both occasions, in March of 2018 and in June of 2018, I was in the same hall as you were.
You were.
So
you were in Albania for
Yes,
the
I
New Year
was.
celebration too.
Yes, I was.
There were very few people that were both. Well,
Wow.
we would have both had the same tombstone.
Absolutely. It would have been an honor for me.
We could have shared the same tombstone. Killed by Iranian.
Killed on the path of freedom for
Yeah,
some
killed by
people. Yeah,
maniac theocratic monsters.
No, we're not letting that happen.
absolutely. Yes. So to address your question, Mayor, it's a very
It's nice to
Good and
know that. It's nice to know I have
You have a
Madam
real
Raja,
brother here.
Madam Rajavi, I expect that, but another outsider like you, this is great.
I appreciate that, Mayor. So the end goal for all of us is democratic change in Iran. And all of these discussions around an attack or even the negotiations, we need to look at it whether or not it's going to facilitate some change at the end of the road, changing this regime and bringing about a democratic republic in Iran. Everybody knows, Mayor, that by bombarding a country, you cannot change the regime. So everybody is on the same page on that. The fact remains that when the goal is going around and making sure that the people of Iran are enabled to be able to do what they're supposed to do, to enable them to finish the job and have their revolution and topple this regime and bring about change in a democratic way that is going to benefit not only the people of Iran, it's going to benefit peace in the Middle East, it's going to benefit the strategic national security of United States. So I've also heard a lot of discussion here whether or not these negotiations that, as of today, I heard that President Trump has said that tomorrow he wants to have some indirect role in the negotiations. That was a news broke this afternoon, and I haven't got to the details. But the fact remains, Mayor, that if that happens, if the Ayatollahs who have been chanting in the Friday prayers for over 40 years, death to America, death to Israel, and death to MEK, that has been their chants in every Friday prayer for over 40 years. If they go back and sit down and negotiate with the United States directly, which President Trump is pushing them to do, what is it going to do to their forces and the mentality of their forces inside the country? It's going to break them down. They're not going to have the potential, the eagerness to support the Ayatollahs, who's been saying death to America for 40 years. Now he's sitting down and talking to America. So if any way you look at it, or any way I look at
That's
it,
a very interesting point of view, because a lot of people don't understand why the Ayatollah, like if it were a more reasonable situation, just didn't live to fight another day, and basically say, okay, Trump, we won't do nuclear, we won't do this, and just wait 3 years, and then hopefully get some kind of a sellout Democrat who actually give him money to do it, like Obama and Biden did.
absolutely. But they know that they are dealing with a president who is going to do what he says he's going to do. So they feel the pressure, they feel the danger, and they, more importantly, Mayor, they know that the potential inside the country for another eruption, for another uprising is very, very high.
Right.
And we talked at the beginning about the
It's like
Berlin.
on a Tinder hook, right? It's like
Absolutely,
just a little thing. I know that. I know that from people
Yeah.
that have talked to me, and you can feel it. You can feel it.
Yeah. So I know you covered the Berlin event live, and you listened to what Mrs. Rajavi said. There were two major points, as I'm sure you know, Mrs. Rajavi covered. One was whether or not it's possible to topple this regime, and her answer was definitely yes. The people of Iran, the organized resistance, the resistance movement is capable of toppling this regime. And the second question was whether or not after this regime is toppled, there's going to be order in the country. And as you have mentioned before I came online, the 10-point plan and the way this resistance have
Right.
been showing its capability, there will be order, there will be a peaceful transition to transfer of power to the people who are the rightful owner of the power in the country.
You think now? I've seen it. I mean, I've also seen the people they have ready, and how they are legitimately prepared to. I kind of describe it as make the trains run and the buses go and the schools stay open, unlike we were able to do in Iraq. That we actually have that group, but a lot of people don't trust that because they try to compare this to Iraq, and the differences are that you're doing the revolution, we're not.
Exactly. And if there is any
even if the president intervenes and does some bombings, it's just going to help. On the
And the
ground, it's going to be the people overthrowing the regime or not.
Exactly, Mayor. And if there is any comparison with Iraq, if I may interject something, is people like Maria needs to know that making Pahlavi, Reza Pahlavi, who is not, is making another Ahmad Chalabi for Iran. That is not going to work. Pumping somebody up who is not who he is not going to help America, is not going to help the people of Iran.
And I kind of listen to all this, and I sort of come out in the middle somewhere, which is we don't need to do some kind of major attack, and I think that's where we're headed. We want to take out enough to make it easier for the people to overcome the Iranian Guard, which means take out their ammunition, take out their stations, maybe take some of them out. And I think we know enough with the Israelis about where they are So
And I
can
think
be
we are
done-
in
it can be done
agreement,
very
Mayor, that
surgically. I don't think the president is hoping to come out of it. That's who knows, without any civilian casualties and with any Americans being lost. Now that may be impossible, but the more you try for it, the better you're going to get to that goal.
absolutely. And as president has made it clear, he wants the people of Iran to be the driver of the change inside Iran. And the help that comes our way in terms of mostly, you know that what we've been asking has been mostly political support in terms of recognizing the right of the people of Iran to confront this regime. That is the right that has not been completely and clearly recognized by a lot of people in Europe. The fact that up until last week, Europe had not enlisted IRGC as a terrorist organization was a clear sign that, West was not really on board with people of Iran confronting IRGC and getting rid of them.
Right.
Because in order for us to have meaningful regime change in Iran, we have to get rid of the IRGC. There's no other way. And that's one of the
as soon as you put together a new government and you give all of them a good price on oil, they'll be very happy.
Yeah. And then that's one of
all they care about.
Yeah,
And for 100 years, they've ruined Iran over oil.
Yeah,
because they wanted to control that and make sure they had the right and that goes way back to putting in the Pahlavi family in the first place, right?
Exactly, and one of the biggest differences between the people like MEK, us, and the folk that support Reza Pahlavi and himself is that Reza Pahlavi depends on IRGC for the change. He has said it numerous times that for the security of the nation, he depends on IRGC. And we always have said and will say that in order for us to have security in our nation, we need to get rid of the IRGC. So anything that we do in terms of confronting the IRGC, those are the kind of things that, as a matter of policy, we need to have clarified in the West, in the United States, in Europe, that that's the right of the people of Iran that has not been clearly recognized yet. The policy needs to be said, as the President Trump has alluded to it, that I'm going to stay away, I'm going to see what the people of Iran do. That is something that needs to be crystal clear coming out of the mouth of the people, the governments in Europe. And then after the regime change, as you said, there's going to be wheeling and dealing that, they're going to try to do what they always do.
Well, we have to sign off now, but did anyone ever tell you look like Henry Kissinger?
No.
Yeah. Look, Ted, look, see if I'm wrong.
You know what? Even a better looking version.
Well, that was at the end.
Secretary Kissinger.
Kissinger was quite a ladies' man. You have no idea. When I was very young, I was Kissinger's lawyer.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, I was his lawyer when I was in the Justice Department. He was being sued. That's how I first got to know him. But he was going out with every actress in
He
come to Washington.
He made being a Washington staffer cool.
There was something about it.
He made it cool.
I think it was the German accent.
Yeah,
all excited about it.
I don't have that problem. Maybe.
Yes, the European accent.
You have a very intriguing accent too. I don't know. We could do something with
the mayor's onto something with that. The European accent, something about that makes you sound a little bit smarter, depending on what you're talking about.
Well, thank you very, very much. It was once again very, very illuminating. God bless.
I appreciate that, Mayor.
God bless
It's always good to talk to you.
They're wonderful people, great history, and I don't think people actually recognize how remarkable, if we got ourselves a productive, free, decent, lawful Iran, what it would mean, not just to that region, to the whole world. I mean, I've met over the last 15 years a lot of these people as refugees, and we're talking about nuclear scientists. I mean, they make me feel embarrassed. They've got about 40 degrees, and that's just the average one. Well,
Right.
in any event, we want you to go over to Lindell TV and watch Dr. Maria. She's got a great show tonight. Ted
Yep.
knows because he helped produce it.
Kicks off in about 10 minutes.
But we were going to spend, and we'll do it tomorrow because I want to play some of this speech. The speech that Marco Rubio gave
Play a little bit of
at the Munich conference is worth being an essay. It really is. I mean, it's a tremendous explanation of what President Trump is trying to do, and in a coherent way explaining the foreign policy, and also appealing to Europe to save Western civilization. It was hard for me to even recognize, and over the last year I have, just how close, particularly England and France, are to becoming Muslim countries. Just one little fact, which is maybe an insignificant one, but it just struck me. The most common name in England last year for a boy child was Muhammad. It's kind of strange. I mean, nothing against the religion, but this is a different civilization, and we want to preserve ours. We're Christian, Jewish. Most common name in England should be, I don't know, King Richard or something, or Ian. Remember Ian?
Ian, is that
is
If
it
somebody's
Irish?
named Ian, you knew
Is
he
that
was from
Ireland or
England,
is that
right?
England?
No, that's England. I think Ian is England. Every Englishman I ever met was Ian. The head of Tony Blair's security was named Ian.
Ah,
Every time you meet a group of English guys, there's one Ian.
that's
I
always
never
Ian.
met a Mohammed from England.
well, check out
I
the most
never
popular
did.
first name.
And that's okay. It's okay if there's some, but they have to become. I mean, if you, the whole key to immigration has been assimilation. Immigration will never work if people come in and they want to change. If you're happy with who you are in a country, and they want to come in and change you, it doesn't work. They should want to come in and join us, adopt most of what we're about, and give us a little push in a direction, which is what all of the immigration has been about. That's why we have such a complex culture. Everybody's contributed something, and it's all under the banner of being American. I always thought it was wrong to have like German American, Italian American. I thought it should be American Irish, American Italian, American African, because that's what we're all. That's how we're all joining together, and not. But it's worked out, even though it was inverted. It worked out. That's what most people were doing up until about 30 years ago, Ted.
Right.
When assimilation ended, and now everybody wants to be in their own little camp,
Right.
and that's going to lead to war, like some kind of a disintegration
Right.
of a country like ours.
That's right.
And I
Part of
think
what-
what Rubio was saying is, we don't want to follow you down that road. I mean, we love Europe, and a lot of us came from Europe, and a lot of the culture of America comes from Europe, and we want to help you, and we want to be your friends. But you're sitting by and watching Western civilization get destroyed, and unless you, we're just not going to join you in that. You got to change and come along with us. And he said it. The thing about him is he said it in a way that was a lot more diplomatic and a lot more.
Well, the media, they like to use the word
acceptable
charming.
than,
They
let's
call
say,
him
JD.
than JD or
kind
the
of
president.
Last year,
Right.
just boom. It's the same message,
Right.
just done
In a
much
more
elegantly.
That's right, Mayor. And look,
It was beautiful. I really admired it.
right. And the United States, we do have, I mean, we're in a position to go over there and explain these sorts of things after the role we played in World War I and World War II. Europe, it's not that they owe us anything, right? But we played a very big role in ensuring their
do.
survival 100 years ago.
They do owe us.
Right.
That was their survival.
Right. Okay.
They'd all be
Right.
speaking German now.
Yeah. Right. So,
And they wouldn't like it. No.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Show me your papers. If you want to get on the train, you have to show me your
right.
papers.
Yet the European elite,
Sorry.
yet the European elite, you know,
need a little gas. Hey,
Yeah.
I don't like Jewish people. Come over
but
here.
right.
Sounds like America now. I don't like
But-
Jewish people. It sounds like America.
The point being, The European elite, they thumb their nose at Trump. They despise Trump. Meanwhile, President Trump is the embodiment of the values of a country that literally defended Europe and ensured their survival multiple times within the past 100 years.
I don't know
just
if it's
insane.
the same now. 'Cause I haven't been to Europe in a while, but in his first term, I used to go to Europe a lot, and a lot of people, maybe they were just doing it to sort of just be agreeable, but they would say, I don't like Trump. I'd say, okay, I thought we have a big fight now, right? I don't like Trump, but I wish we had a leader like that. I wish we had somebody to fight for us. I know he fights for you too much, but I wish we had a leader that fight. And I could understand that. I could understand what they were saying, and that's almost what he wants.
Right.
He's saying, look, I'm going to be outrageous and fight for America, and I need you to fight for your country, and we'll come out of it with something that makes sense for both of us.
Yes. So look, of course, the mayor has known the Secretary of State Marco Rubio since before he was United States Senator.
I was the second person to endorse him when he ran for the Senate against Charlie Crist.
I think the mayor gets annoyed with this. I'm pretty sure the secretary at this point is getting annoyed with this because every time I see him, I have to ask about the same question.
Well, Senator, my understanding is that the mayor was early in endorsing you back in 2010.
Yeah. Let me guys tell you something.
Quick story.
The mayor didn't just endorse me. He called me a week after the election and wanted to go after Charlie Crist again. We don't got to keep hitting him.
God bless.
But the fact is that Charlie Crist was the governor when I ran for president. And after the election, I found out, because he promised to endorse us, and then he never did. And we were angry at him then. But afterwards, I found out, at the same time he promised to endorse me, he promised to endorse Romney. And then he endorsed McCain instead of either one of us. And then when he thought McCain was going to lose, he started backing off McCain and he started endorsing Obama, even though he was a Republican. So he was like, I have met some really crummy people in New York, right? I mean, New York, you often think of New York as the most corrupt, but I had never met anybody as dishonest as this guy. Right. Even all the New York politicians look good compared to him, right. Because very often a politician won't lie to your face.
Oh, right.
He'll tell you, and then he'll come up with an excuse.
Oh,
apologetically,
apologetic.
When I finally confronted him after the campaign, I said, Charlie, did you really promise to endorse me and Romney at the same time and string us along for 3 months? He said, yes. Now, a New York politician would say, no, you misunderstood me. I didn't really say that. I meant to say this. I meant to say that. So I guess I have to respect him for being a very honest liar.
In that moment, he was honest. In that moment.
But I love running against him. I helped
Rubio.
I helped Marco defeat him, and I helped Senator Scott defeat him.
That's right.
And I got involved with Marco through Jeb Bush.
Yeah. Well, and the secretary, every time we see him,
a great governor.
Every time we see the secretary, even up a few weeks ago,
he's his
eyes light up. He loves coming to the mayor. He'll drop everything.
Every once in a while you get somebody that's really just super.
And he's a big football fan. He loves the Miami Dolphins.
Good if he's a big football fan.
Well, I like him even more. Yeah. Well, you're a football guy.
I never found out if he's a big baseball fan because that would be more important.
You know what? I bet you he is, but we'll look into that.
Well, we're going to now tell you to go over to Wendell TV, please.
Yes.
Is there anything else that is critical that everybody knows about before tomorrow, so that they don't,
look,
ill-informed?
Look, a busy weekend. Is the president still down here, or is he back in Washington? Did he celebrate President's Day? Do we know? President Trump.
I saw somewhere that he's going to go.
Let's see the schedule. They usually have a
overseas over the weekend.
Well, yeah. Did you see that? And we have some friends in the news media with us. I don't know if anyone knows this. Is President Trump going to Israel this week? I wasn't sure if that was like an old readout.
There was a little teeny notation this big, which I think has to be wrong, that he's going to go and inspect Gaza. Well, I can't imagine he's going to go and inspect Gaza.
So the president is. So he left tonight. Today's the 16th.
Where?
He is flying back to the White House tonight. The public schedule had his flight leaving at 6:15 and landing at Joint Air Force Andrews at 8:24.
So
Leaving the White House at 8:44. It's now 9 o'clock. What's the drive from Joint Base Andrews to the White House?
for him,
For the president, yeah.
yeah,
Not if I'm driving.
Probably 30 minutes.
30 minutes. So he is right now
maybe
en route
25.
From
White
joint,
House?
well, according to the public schedule, to the White House from Joint Base Andrews. Maybe he's passing Nationals Park right now. Because you go through Maryland, right? You take.
But you can't figure out over the weekend, is he headed overseas?
Oh, so where is he going this week?
I
So-
thought it said something about he's going to take a look at the demarcation line, and I thought that it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean that might have been older, but
But
let's
it was
see.
just a little piece like that. It probably was a mistake.
So we'll take a look to see if
So
the president is going to Israel.
So what do you think? Before we get off, what do you think of Obama's answer on UFOs that now are called something else?
I thought it was fun. Look,
And
I
what do
think
you
he
think- what do
was
you
trying
think
to
of
be a
you-
little funny.
What do you think? No. What do you think of UFOs?
Well, in the strict sense, unidentified flying
They call
object. If
them
you
now.
look into the
You know
sky,
what they call them? UAPs now.
Unidentified
Unidentified
aerial-
anomalous. I can't even pronounce it. Unidentified anomalous phenomena.
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
Let's go back to UFO, okay? UFOs exist. If we look in the sky, nobody can determine what they're looking at. That's an unidentified flying object. Is
Well, I
there
thought
life?
Obama's point was actually we have these things we can't describe. We don't know what they are.
Right.
So if you ask me, is there life somewhere else? How do I know? How would I know? I mean, we don't know the answer to that.
Right. Well, apparently not. If somebody were to know, we would guess the president of the United States would be on that
This is why we're
short
not
list.
God,
Right. And by the way, we talk about life outside this planet. Chances are, if it's out there, is it like, an amoeba type thing? The idea that there are these like green men running around, right? Like that look like us, like life outside this planet. I mean, it could be. Yes,
You don't
I
think
thought it
there
was
are
fine. I didn't make a big deal about it.
This is
I
why
think the president.
I tell you, you're not educated enough. I mean, you don't know that there are green men running around.
I am
You
not.
just go to the St. Patrick's Parade in New York.
Oh yeah.
You find a lot of little green men running around.
You
And they might not know where they're running.
were
but
you
they're
ever the grand marshal for that one?
No, I'm not Irish. Everything can make me the grand.
They didn't.
marshal.
They didn't invite.
Columbus Parade.
You did the Columbus parade, but so they didn't invite the mayor.
Uh,
I mean, that's just good politics.
no,
If
but
you're the
was-
Irish, I mean, that's
I've
one of the biggest
marched
parades in
many
town.
Times, but they pick somebody Irish.
Irish, you got to be Irish.
Yeah.
No,
You know,
no
Trump,
honorary.
Trump was the grand marshal of the Van Steuben Day Parade. You don't know what that is.
No, and I'm pretty sure. I
It was
mean,
a German parade.
that's a real parade.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was the grand marshal. I can.
Let's see if we can find it. There's a picture
maybe
of him as a grand marshal.
1998, 1999.
Was it the German American parade?
Yeah, it's the German American parade, right?
All right, let's see if we can.
There are lots of parades. Now, I need to tell people that in Syria, we're very concerned because there's a theoretically reformed terrorist in charge of the government of Syria. 2/3 of the Syrians, this was an outside poll taken by an American organization, the Council for a Secure America. 2/3 of Syrians now view the U.S. positively and want to have an alliance with the U.S., compared to only 12% who are against it. Now, here's even more interesting. 59% want peace with Israel.
Mm.
And 64%
Whoa, interesting.
support a security arrangement with Israel. Only 9% disapprove of it.
Wow.
And 47% support normalization with Israel. So it looks like whatever they were trying, I mean, it looks like, that's not definitive, but it looks like whatever they're trying to do there is working. I always thought
right.
everybody
That's
was just instinctually against giving the guy a chance, and I was too. I mean, he's a murderer, but some people do change, and some people don't change. And since he was there and he overthrew Assad, and he was saying the right things, we can always overthrow him if we have to. And it sounds like right now he hasn't moving in the right direction. So let's hope and pray.
Geneva is where these next talks are taking place, so we'll be following that very closely. I believe Mr. Kushner will be there.
Right. Who have told Trump, according to the leak, not anything official, that They don't think it's realistic that Iran will agree to anything concrete or anything that he'll be satisfied with.
The leaks
They'll
are that the president will not be.
The two of them have briefed the president saying, we do not think that Iran will agree to anything concrete, anything that you're going to be satisfied with. But we'll go ahead and keep negotiating just in case.
I think I have an idea where this is going, Mayor. I think
Yeah, I
you do
know.
too.
I'm
think you
just
do.
telling you that because I don't know that one. I don't know on my own. I just know it from the leaks.
Right. Well, what we read in.
And I do have to say this, and it's the last thing we'll say before we get off, because we do want you to go over to. I'm disappointed in Tom Homan attacking Kristi Noem, because and he says, "Well, I'm not really going to attack her, but I don't agree with her."
Well,
we're on the same team.
You can't say that.
Well, I mean, that's like attacking.
That's attacking.
You know,
That's an
and
attack.
really, she was just doing the job that the president was elected to do. And I thought that, you know, both of those the incidents that they try to hang her on, they're very tragic and they're very terrible, but they're both understandable. The first woman was driving a 2.5-ton truck into a law enforcement officer, and her girlfriend was telling her to do it. Drive, baby, drive. I don't even know if the woman knew she was doing it. I think you don't see her, but you get the feeling that she was just responding to what her girlfriend was saying, or husband, or whatever the hell she was, wife. And but that girlfriend, you know, knew where the law enforcement officer was because she was taunting him. So she essentially encouraged her to hit the guy. And afterwards, in the first wave, they don't show this anymore. She was crying, saying, "It was my fault. It was my fault." Well, you're damn right it was your fault. So that's incident number one. Incident number two, the guy, as we pointed out, was trained in rearrest. They were trying to break up that arrest.
Right.
They had 3 people. First one was the woman. They pushed aside. He was the second one, and there was a third guy on the side. And they were trying to break up the arrest. All of a sudden, you get in the middle of breaking up an arrest with a bunch of agents or policemen. Who knows what the hell's going to happen to you? And if you have a gun with you,
Right.
all of a sudden they see that gun. They don't see your license for the gun. They just see the gun. They say, "Holy God Almighty!" So this is why she's so much she's so terrible. I mean, she was just trying to get illegal, and the people that they got out were like 80% dangerous criminals.
Yep. Hopefully,
So I wish Tom.
Yeah.
I know that, you know, it began with a lot of turmoil between the two of them.
and you know, the media is doing everything they can to get Tom
And
to say
I
things
love
nasty,
both of them.
right? But the media is using Tom to try and create this wedge, right? They
Mhm.
want to create division. They want to show people, oh my gosh, look, they're fighting, and it's all an effort to I mean, obviously undermine the president, but in the short term, take out Noam, take out and eventually take out Tom, right?
Oh yeah, he'll be next. Right?
Out of their positions, right? And so hopefully, because you know them both very well, and
I have
hopefully
great
this isn't,
admiration for
yeah.
both of them.
Hopefully this is just the media really pushing him, and like you said, hopefully he understands that, sees that, and isn't out there contradicting the Department of Homeland Security Secretary.
So we'll be back tomorrow, 7:00 on Lindell TV, 8:00 right here on X. I have to thank you very, very much. Last week you gave us 5 million people one day. Wow. 5.2 to be exact. I don't know where you came from. I don't care.
But come back.
But come back. Come on back. We want you back. And thank you very, very much. And pray for the people of Israel, and pray for the people of Iran, and pray for the people of Ukraine. They're under the gun right now. And I'm sure there are others also under the gun, but those are the ones that are most prominent. So, you know, pray for them. They need help, and you wouldn't want to be in their shoes, would you? And pray for the president. It's a very, very difficult job, and he's doing a great job, but he needs, that job can't be done without your help. And he needs it. We all do. God bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, Please welcome our brother, Robert Ritchie.
You can tell your old man you'll do some largemouth fishing another time. You got too much on your plate to bait and cast a line. You can always put a rain check in his hand till you can't, till you can't. You can keep putting on forever with that girl whose heart you hold, swearing that you'll ask someday further down the road. You can always put a diamond on her hand till you can't, till you can't. If you got a chance, take it. Take it while you got a chance. If you got a dream, chase it, 'cause a dream won't chase you back. If you're gonna love somebody, hold them as long and as strong and as close as you can. Till you can't, till you can. Now there's a box of greasy parts sitting in the trunk of that 65, still waiting on you and your grandpa to bring it back to life. You can always get around to fixing up that old Pontiac till you can't, till you can't. If you got a chance, take it. Take it while you got a chance. If you got a dream, chase it, 'cause a dream won't chase you back. If you're gonna love somebody, hold them as long and as strong and as close as you can. Till you can, till you can. You know, I awoke one Sunday morning all alone with this song stuck in my head. And in that moment, something or someone spoke to me. They said there was still a verse that needed to be written for this song, and to get up and write it down. There's a book that's sitting in your house somewhere that could use some dusting off. There's a man who died for all our sins, hanging from the cross. You can give your life to Jesus, and he'll give you a second chance till you can't, till you can't. If you got a chance, take it while you got a chance. If you got a dream, chase it, 'cause a dream won't chase you back. If you're gonna love somebody, hold them as long and as strong and as close as you can. Till you can, till you can. If you got a chance, take it while you got a chance. If you got a dream, chase it, 'cause a dream won't chase you back. If you wanna love somebody, hold them as long and as strong and as close as you can. Till you can, until you can.
It's our purpose to bring to bear the principle of common sense and rational discussion to the issues of our day. America was created at a time of great turmoil, tremendous disagreements, anger, hatred. There was a book written in 1776 that guided much of the discipline of thinking that brought to us the discovery of our freedoms, of our God-given freedoms. It was Thomas Paine's Common Sense, written in 1776, one of the first American bestsellers, in which Thomas Paine explained, by rational principles, the reason why these small colonies felt the necessity to separate from the Kingdom of Great Britain and the King of England. He explained their inherent desire for liberty, for freedom, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, the ability to select the people who govern them. And he explained it in ways that were understandable to all the people, not just the elite. Because the desire for freedom is universal. The desire for freedom adheres in the human mind, and it is part of the human soul. This is exactly the time we should consult our history. Look at what we've done in the past and see if we can't use it to help us now. We understand that our founders created the greatest country in the history of the world, the greatest democracy, the freest country, a country that has taken more people out of poverty than any country ever. All of us are so fortunate to be Americans. But a great deal of the reason for America's constant ability to self-improve is because we're able to reason, we're able to talk, we're able to analyze,